He is finally back. My boy, the OG from my commission talks, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Houston's own, Cyber Yetti. What's up, buddy?
Oh, what's going on, man? How's it been, man? I know it's been a while. I know I've been kind of hiding in the darkness lately. So how's everything going with you, Mr. Marlowe?
Hey, man, I am here. It has been a week. Summer is still recovering for me, but hey, like I said, I'm here.
Hey, that's great to hear.
I know
man.
summer's been a big time for you.
Whew. It's called I needed to take a break. I needed to take a very big break. Like I'm talking about, I disconnected. You hardly ever saw anything from me on social media for a while. I just had to kind of disconnect and kind of, remind myself why I like the certain things I do, like why I like wrestling, why I like doing all my extra stuff. So, I had to kind of step back, do that reset, and, kind of come back and, do something a little different. I wanted to do something different.
Definitely.
And, that's coming. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I have to say, man, after watching, a couple other wrestling podcasts out there and, just seeing how they're doing and realizing that I enjoy doing that, I figured, you know what? Let me go see if I can go and contact somebody and pop up on an episode. I was like, you know what? I already know the man to do it with. I said, there was only two I could think of. It was you, and then it was Dre. And I was like, but Dre, he's over there doing the daddy thing. I respect it. Let him enjoy his thing.
Happy birthday, Amir.
Right? So I figured, you know what? This man, he's been on a tear. He's back on the indie scene. He's starting to get back into the wrestling again. And I love seeing it. I love seeing social media, seeing you get yourself right, getting yourself back into that mind frame to go ahead and make another round on the indie scene. I was like, you know what? Let me hit up Mr. Marlowe. Let me see if he wants to have a sit down conversation with me, not the Underboss, but with me.
Yep.
So I figured, why not? Let me reach out, and sure enough, reached out. And what, a week later, we're sitting down and having this conversation.
Set up, sealed, and ready to go.
Yes, sir. When I work quick. I work really quick. So, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but anyway, I mean, luckily with me taking this time off, it made me kind of readjust. I've been able to sit back and enjoy wrestling, not just WWE or AEW. I've caught myself watching indie stuff again. I've caught myself, watching New Japan, doing all this other stuff, and not trying to watch it just to try to, do a weekly podcast or anything else. I'm talking about I did it to actually enjoy it for the hell of it. Hell, I even watched some Impact. I'm shocked to even say that. I actually watched Impact Wrestling. What the hell am I doing?
So, there's so many, though, man. There's so many. It's like a revolving around, man. It's like you got Monday, you got Monday Night Raw, you got Tuesday, you got NXT, AEW, you got all these different things every single day. And it's like, daggone, man. And, MLW now has got their deal. And I mean, I don't know if they're on Reels still anymore. I think Alex told me. I think they're off of it now.
I think they're off of it now. I think they're on Vice. I think Vice picked them up.
They're on Vice. Yeah, they signed a big deal with Vice. That's
Vice
insane.
Really likes their stuff too. They really like their stuff.
Yeah.
And then with Dark Side of the Ring too. And I mean, they have, I think this season was their last season to do Dark Side of the Ring. I haven't watched any of them, but I know
I haven't yet. I haven't done that yet, man. I gotta hesitate on some of those because I'm just like, oh man, they picked that up.
because you know damn well some of these people that they get to be on these episodes, they only know like something that just passed by that was like 2 minutes. They turn around and try to spread it for 2 hours. Yeah. So that's usually what happens with most of these people, and that's sad. But also, too, man, I've been enjoying some of the stuff that I've seen lately in regards to some of the new wrestling storylines that have been coming out. Like, to me, I'm sorry, I've actually caught myself watching AEW a little bit more than
Mm-hmm.
WWE lately, just due to the simple fact, one, the MJF Adam Cole storyline.
I admit that one. That one's been money completely. This is really showing why Maxwell is the name of their brand. That's really my opinion on that one.
Yeah, and not only that, but the way that they did it for this tag team tournament, they did to go against FDR, and it went from the first round. Adam Cole did not accept MJF at all, even though he was trying to be buddy. And then the second one kind of let loose, was a little bit more comfortable with him. Third one coming out full blown mashup of their entries, and MJF acting like a freaking
the vignettes were
boy, a 15-year-old boy that just saw a set of titties for the first time. I mean, that face he had on him, I swear to God.
Bro Cha-Cha. Was that what he called him? Bro Cha-Cha?
Bro Cha-Cha, yeah. But man, I actually got to legitimately enjoy wrestling for the first time in a long time, and me taking this break was the best thing for me. I mean, I've been able to reset, enjoy everything that I used to, and now it's just a matter of time before my new.
You're ready to lace the shoes up again and ready to be on that track, huh? Ready to lace them up and ready to start riding that track again, huh?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh man, that's gonna be the day right there.
Hey, I will say this, man. That's the same way I felt like when I said I was done. Actually, when I said I was done, it was because I had doctors telling me I couldn't hold my baby no more. I couldn't hold my freaking newborn child. Shout out to Annabelle. But seeing more things and the biggest thing that I had to really take in was the stuff I had to do behind the scenes, like the way I trained. I had to change everything. I remember I actually had to have a workout, basically just me doing this. Like that was a full workout session, was me sitting here doing this, or me struggling with 2.5 pound dumbbells. That was the struggle of the life for me. And it was just like everything that just kept moving. And I mean, so much times I wanted to quit. Like I wanted to just be like, I'm done going to the gym. I'm going to be done with everything. Just there's no reason for it anymore.
Yeah.
And then when I started getting a little bit of a belly, and I was like, yeah, not happening. I'm done with this. I pinched my stomach a little bit and I said, I can't do this. I can run a little bit. I got into flag football, started getting into, just being active again, being around those guys. I thought it was, hanging out with people that are just adults that don't want to be on the couch, just trying to do something for the weekend. Found out it was former NFL players out there, CrossFit enthusiasts out there. So, bro, I got thrown through the trenches when I first started playing flag, because I remember when I told my doctor, and I was like, can I play flag football? And they're like, yeah, that's no problem. That's the least contact sport around. First game, I almost had a concussion. Bruh, so it was like literally a whole different transition, and it made me and I fell in love with flag football as much as I did with wrestling. And it was the absolute best thing that ever happened for me. And then it got me to go back in the weight room, started training again, started figuring out everything. I got more into cardio than I ever been. Like, oh my goodness, I've never wanted to do cardio, And, got into that standpoint, hanging out with all these people that I networked with on flag football standpoint. And then I was like, I don't really want to talk about wrestling on this podcast. I mean, I've got flag football we can talk about. We got all these little open horizons. And I felt like this was going to be my new thing, was just podcasts. Yeah. I was going to do it. And then I got in with Dre, got in there with Blackheart. Blackheart brought me on. Shout out to him, bringing me on the OTTR. And I guess he's watched some of the old AP films and was talking about it. And then it injected it back into me. And I was like, yeah, but now I'm a veteran, which felt weird, a weird taste in my mouth. But it was like, these little things, obviously I kept trying to avoid because I knew what was going to happen. And seeing Edge come back, Daniel Bryan come back, Paige come back, and all these, I'm like, they broke their neck. I didn't break my neck. I was right on the verge of breaking it. Yeah. I stopped before that, and I'm like, you know what? I just need to go get it. I'm just curious if I'm good. And my wife even told me, she's like, you know what? As much as I hate this idea, I want to see you happy. So I got to give a shout out to my wife on this, because this was a lot on her. And, doing this again, my like how Goldberg was talking about, like he would literally just put himself in the gym, eat all the time, and just put him in a one dimension where he's just alienated from everybody. That's kind of like how I was when I got back into this thing. When I found out the doctor said I was good to go, started training again, started getting that mindset to get back into the ring. And man, the rest is history. And, just from the last appearance that I had, which everybody I know is driving me nuts going, where's the footage? Where's the footage? But, it was definitely that perfect moment for me. I felt like I was uncomfortable back in the gear. I didn't feel like I could fit the gear. And I felt like I was way better than I've ever been. So it was pretty damn awesome. And, when you don't realize something until it's gone. And then when you get to that mindset and you got that hatred towards it, because I had a lot of past with wrestling another reason why I was like, man, why am I pushing myself through this? If I'm really not happy, why am I continuing to do this? And, exactly. It makes you take that realization, and it goes, you know what? I think I'm back. I think I'm ready again. I think it's good. Now, I used to reference wrestling as like a bad ex-girlfriend at times, but obviously the ex-girlfriend apparently is not the ex anymore for me.
Yeah, that sounds about right, man.
In a wrestling analogy, not anything else, but in the wrestling analogy.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. That's I could totally agree with you on that. That is a perfect analogy for this, because the wrestlers I've spoken with over the years at indie events, they say it's literally like a drug. It's like a drug. And
it is, bro.
It's a natural one. It is you get reactions out of the crowd. You get the crowd booing you, or you get them cheering your name. That is like the best high that you could ever get. And
through the curtain. Through the curtain is the best feeling. There's nothing that compares to it. Nothing.
Oh yeah. The best one that I can ever revert back to when I'm thinking about someone explaining the high and the exhilaration they get from just hearing the crowd either cheer them, boo them, or anything, was when Eddie Guerrero was on the road to No Way Out in California against Brock Lesnar for the title. That promo he cut on the SmackDown before was probably by far the best promo I have ever seen someone throw down, that actually used their real life situation and spun it into a promo, talking about his drug addiction, talking about losing his family, talking about having to gain all of it back to be able to come back to the ring. And then of course we look at the Daniel Bryan, the Edge, the Lita, the all these people. And now I'm actually including this person on this list, Randy Orton. Randy Orton is still a big question mark right now too, if whether or not he'll ever be able to come back. All these people have gotten injured, severely injured, and have come back and have said multiple times how much of a natural high they get from that pop that they get when they come back. Thinking again back to Edge when he debuted in the Rumble before COVID hit, and coming back there in Houston and just having that crowd pop for him after being gone for so long.
Bro, I cried. I cried that moment, man.
I did too. And when I watched the little bio they did on him, I think it was Peacock that did it, where they showed Beth Phoenix in the back watching him go out and be announced for the Rumble. That had me in tears too. But dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I heard and I started following your social media more closely over the summer, when I saw that you were starting to get back into it, I saw more and more posts coming in. I was like, Man, this dude got bit by the bug again. But
Bro.
here he goes again. Here he goes again. He's
See, the problem was a lot of people were like, is he back yet? Is he there? What is he on the shows yet? Like, what's going on? What's going on? And I wanted to like make that meaningful. So say like that Adele Georgia show. Like I was only supposed to be in a battle royal. I was only supposed to be in the battle royal. The scenario was me and Nino were going to go in there. My job is to make sure he doesn't win. Okay, it's a cool benefit if I win, but guess what? I'm going in there to just throw him out. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't care about anybody else. I'm going to stop him. That's the reason why I'm back in this. He made me question who I was. He called me out. He's been running away. We've been doing this thing for a whole year, which as much as I hate this guy, this dude did a fantastic job. And we included this thing through the whole last season. Even though we made it as that talk show analogy, got a little bit of the banter between me and him through the entire season, which sometimes viewers will look at him like, okay, bro, enough is enough. Like, come on, chill with that. People were more enthused with it. They're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe this. Da, da, da. Like the most realist thing that we did. And I was really pissed about it at the time, but on my anniversary, I had an episode planned where I was going to do the best of 2022. Mm-hmm. And instead, he hacked the show and had his own show mocking me through the entire thing, having his own interviews and stuff like that. Oh, no. And when I tell you, man, I'm on a cruise, so I don't know nothing that's going on.
You don't know about
nothing. So when I showed the video of my expression of how I felt when I found out of it, that was legitimately the first time I saw this. Just got home, had a great time on the cruise with my wife, celebrated 5 years together. I mean, how many people could really say they went on a cruise on New Year's Eve and just enjoyed a whole weekend? Especially shout out to the Royal Caribbean with the Coco Cay trip. That was amazing. But just to come home and I look at, and my publishers texted me, Blackheart's text me, Dre's text me. I've had numerous people message me, hey, this ain't you. How did he get this? And da-da-da-da. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This ain't me. Go to look at it, and I see that he's already started on the opening, and I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. And then for me to go to this show, and we went to just be verbalizing. He pushed me, so we had to have an altercation. We had to fight. So, I mean, I'm not going to back down. He's obviously not going to back down. But, you know, I'm tired of him playing on the keyboard. Let's talk face to face. And, you know, it's been, as much as I don't like this guy, and regardless of everything, the story that we have told with this podcast, a lot of people have never done. A lot of people have never been able to do something like that. And that was the thing that we made even people question, because like after we did the Battle Royal, he even said, this is it between us. I'm going to put my hands on you. You're going to put your hands on me. And we just continued it out. And then we got on to the big promotion that we just did, his normal promotion. And for the story that we have told with that, man, I'm telling you, man, you don't have to do so much to make an emotional effect for somebody. And, you know, and I applaud you for actually, you know, taking a break. That's why I tell people when I do these podcasts, like this summer, even as much stuff as I've been going through, you know, preparing myself, you know, regarding my son and stuff like that, I always cherish it so much. Now, granted, when I open these seasons back up, the numbers are not going to be the normal numbers that we're used to because we've been gone for 3 months. So it's like, you know, you're gonna feel those ratings because we're not the Joe Rogans or anything like that yet to be like, hey, I can take a break for a half a year. I know y'all are gonna come back the next week, but it's like, you know, but it pushes you, and I feel like that's what makes you more appreciative because like, oh wow, we got these numbers last season. Let's see what we can do this go around because it's like a newer organic thing, and you got the original audience. It's gonna keep growing. It's gonna keep going. And it's just like it's more of a feel for it because I remember when some of these guest episodes that I've done recently, bro, when someone would tell me they bought my hats and stuff, and I'm like, where are you from? Africa and all these? I'm like, that's insane. Like I got Buzzing With Marlowe gear in Africa, and like, you know, these are the things like I really take in consideration when it comes to these podcasts. Like, obviously on commission, you see me talk about wrestling. You see me joking around with the guys. Like, it's like a legitimate gentleman's club type chat thing.
Yes.
Like, we talk about wrestling, but it's more like the wrestling meet the pivot type show. I think that's the best analogy we could go with that. And then it's like a good debate standpoint. Like, and that's something that you see with the entertainment with me and Blackheart. You look at him like, oh man, what's Warren going to do to piss that guy off today? Like, what's Blackheart going to get one up on Warren back and forth? And it's just like an answer. And then I'm like, what's Dre going to do over here? And then like when you're on, it's like we could tag team on this analogy because now we got two guys that are literally, we could go at these debates. Dre's just going to be sitting there like, y'all do this y'all want. I got you. I get mine in, okay? I get mine in.
I'm going to wait until everybody's quiet, and then I'm going to say my piece. Which could be like 20 minutes.
Exactly. I love Dre, man. Dre would just chill. I remember one time we went on a full rant, and Dre didn't even get one in for a minute. And Dre was just like, he even messaged me. He's like, this is the funniest shit I ever seen.
Dude, you know what? I will say this. I have always, every time I was on the commission talks, even when I was on it consistently every week, that was probably by far the funnest time I have had in participating in a podcast, period. Because
we don't get so serious with it. That's the biggest thing. Like, I wanted that to be a release, all these, obviously, we want to make it look professional and stuff. And I mean, when Kofi Weedston and guys like that would come on, they're like, bro, this is the most absolute down to earth collab we have seen. And it's like, we don't judge anybody, but no, you better have your knowledge to come into this background because, bro, you're going to have a bunch of pit bulls waiting for you. And we want somebody to like give us a debate to where we like, you know what? I like that analogy. I like that. That makes sense somewhat.
Exactly.
And that was just some things. That's one thing I loved, man. I hated okay, I agree. I remember I tried to get that out of Dre for a long time. I was like, bro, I want you to disagree on everything we say today.
Like, do not say you agree. You better.
I was like, you know what? If I say Awesome Kong versus the Big Show, you better say Awesome Kong wins because it's like I just hate the I agree standpoint because that's what. And I tell people, man, the debates is what builds the audience. That's what builds the show. Skip and Shanahan, man. No one wants to watch them agree to everything. They want to see these two dang near where Skip is going to grab him out of his chair. Regardless, it might be a work, but guess what? That's going to be on YouTube. That's going to be your most viewed thing standpoint. Like, obviously, the way the world is now, I mean, obviously, you got to be careful with some of these things, but, that's what draws the show. And, with commission talks and stuff like that, that was the biggest thing I said I wanted to do was I wanted debates, but I wanted like a gentleman's club. Like we could just release stuff, okay, we got the Buzzing With Marlowe, we got the 1130, we got the OTTR. But you know what? This is us as a chilled group that enjoy stuff. Like we never really were, I would say sometimes we were serious, but the other times, bro, we were just down to earth. Like, I remember when Maverick and them, bro, they were like, bro, this is the most absolute funnest thing ever. Like, I love these Wednesday chats that y'all bring because it's like an organic standpoint. It's like, you don't have to look at it so seriously. Just come in, have a chat, do what you need to do. And it's like how I do in my wrestling matches, man. Get the crowd, do your gaga, get your stuff in, get your comeback, rise up and do it all over again. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Exactly. Yeah.
Less is more, man.
Exactly. And just having the opportunity to actually, when I first joined OTTR, which was like years ago, it was a couple years ago. And I had never, prior to that, I have never ever gotten on a platform and talked about wrestling before, period. So that was really like my coming out party for that. And at first I'll admit I was that yes person, but finally midway through the season, I will always say this person will always be in my top 3 in rivalries. It doesn't matter how long I do it. It is going to be between me and Big Mike.
Yep.
Me and Big Mike were the two that started up a rivalry that has lasted, and I will even say it now, lasted till this day. That I will talk smack to that man like there is no tomorrow, and I will make him second guess hitting a live button anywhere. I will make him second guess that.
He's so down to earth too, man.
Yes, and outside of my normal persona that I like to put out whenever I'm on any kind of podcast, I will say this. He is probably the most down-to-earth person that I have ever met in regards to not just intellect in wrestling and sports in general. I'm talking about he is very easy to talk to. He's very respectful, even though when you see us going at it with each other in the podcast episodes, you knew we were going to throw barbs at each other the second one said the wrong thing. But I will say this, he's probably one of the most down to earth guys that I had the privilege to have debates with wrestling and then some. And also too, I would still say this, Mike, you ain't shit, bitch. But anyway, I
remember, bro, the only trash talking Mike ever did to me is on WrestleMania fucking night, man. WrestleMania night. Mike was on Blackheart's line because obviously Big Mike and his family were at the show, and they were showing us how everybody was so just still struck, like the utter silence in that building. Like that's what you got to love about entertainment. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I had a very big emotional feeling when Cody lost that match. Because I have never been so invested into a main event in so long. Like I felt like I was a kid going for The Rock again against Stone Cold or against Hogan or something like that. Yes. And just the whole derogatory of that match. Like that was the first time ever, I think, in a main event in a long ass time where you cared about who won, but you obviously could not figure out, is it the time that Roman's losing? Is it Cody's finally moment? Like, it was just a whole analogy nobody could predict. Like, it used to piss people off. They're like, man, who's got the resources? What's going on in this? What's the backstory to this one? Is Roman taking time off and da-da-da-da? Like, that's where I was just like, bro, WWE did the smartest thing ever in this moment. Like, they didn't reveal anything. They didn't say nothing. But when that pinfall 1, 2, 3 happened, and it went from outrageous crowd to, is the crowd there? We back in the Thunderdome?
Oh man, yeah. Yes, I will admit, I was one of those people that I was about ready to throw something at my TV when I saw that, because, like you said, I was one of those people that was flat out determined Roman is going to lose this match, because there is no way that the WWE would put so much pomp and circumstance on Cody Rhodes coming back if they weren't going to do something big with him. We now clearly see, if you've kind of been keeping track of WWE now, they're really giving Cody Rhodes
the story is there.
The John Cena treatment from back, I think, in 2014, I think.
Yep.
They're giving him that treatment right now, which means he's eventually going to get it. It's just called, they're making him run one hell of a gauntlet before he gets it.
I still think if he never got hurt, I think he would have won it. I think that's what it really, was. Because they had to rush the Rumble. They had to rush all these little things. But Cody was wrestling every night. So I was just like, this might has to happen. Because, I mean, his wife is getting more involved in the storyline, stuff like that. And I'm just like, Cody's killing it, man, with the promos and stuff. And I've been seeing some of the stuff on social media, and I just laugh at him. I'm like, bro, y'all don't know what long-time storytelling is, because y'all sat in here said, and Dre has even said it before. Dre, he's gotten more involved with Cody now, but at the time he was just like, what has Cody done to get the title? And, and I understand that. Cody's been gone. He didn't like what was going on. Change his character, do whatever. All right. But I told Dre, and I said this numerous times, I was like, wrestling is about investing in yourself. I mean, it is a group thing, but who's getting signed on the indie cards? Who's the ones that you're looking out for? You're not looking out for your next person, whatever. I'm not trying to be mean when I say that, but you're looking out for yourself.
Exactly.
Cody did exactly what was best for him. Cody knew this is what he's wanting to do. And, you know, people have been getting mad about that documentary, what Triple H comment said. I said he wasn't lying. That's a secondary promotion. And it's going to be that way until whatever can show. But you got to focus on your brand, grow your stuff, do what you need to do. Now, I will say, MJF has made me watch AEW a lot more. I won't even lie. But Char, don't kill me, but I'm still not invested in the Moxley. I feel like the blood and guts, I was just like, they just need to put Moxley on there. He wins the match if you don't bleed in a minute. Like, it's like these things, they constantly keep messing up on standpoints. If you want to grow your brand, put your product on these guys and make it grow on these guys. Don't worry about these signed guys every single time. Invest into the guys that you have. And honestly, bro, WWE right now, people can get mad at me all up. They're selling out buildings every fucking night. That has been a long time since they've done this. Like, Cody even said it very well in the last interview. They said, what was different compared to, like, you know, in the past where he was? He's like, back then it was just John Cena. Now we got me, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. The Usos are headlining everything now. Like, you got Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor. Everyone off the Judgment Day is benefiting off of things. Dominic is getting in main events now. And I mean,
and he's been defending the North American Championship.
Give this man his flowers. Give him his flowers. Rey Mysterio's getting on these things. Regardless if you want to get mad about LWO, Phantasma, he's been killing it in these matches that he's doing. Sheamus is kicking behind. Butch, Paul, whatever we want to call him, you know, he's doing his thing. Gunther, gosh, Imperium right now. Like, you have so many of these lineup, but it's the natural roster that they've been building. They're not signing anybody new and be like, hey, I'm giving you this and let's go. Like, you've got so much that they're growing upon, and I feel like that's what's eating a lot of people alive right now. They're eating their words because they're literally putting up the guys that they've been begging for so long.
Yes.
Gable.
And then look at Ricochet. Ricochet's finally getting an opportunity to shine too, because with this whole thing with Logan Paul, that when the second I saw him do that flip out of the ring to get in the face of Logan Paul, I was like, oh shit, Triple H just let him do his NXT shit. I was like, we're going to start seeing shades of Lucha Underground with him at SummerSlam. I can guarantee you at SummerSlam, you are going to see shades of freaking Lucha Underground King Puma. So
I mean, and look at Logan Paul. Logan Paul, bro, he's matching up with these guys. And we won't give him crap all you want. You know, I can't say much when it comes to, like, you know, him studying a match for 3 months straight. Like, bro, it took me almost the end of the summer to actually really get myself back in the ring and doing these shows and stuff. So it takes a lot to get yourself into these things. And I applaud Logan Paul, regardless outside of who he is as a human being, but him as an entertainer in that wrestling thing, he's an attraction wrestler. And I hate to say it, he's an attraction star, period. His podcast, everything. He's bringing such a big network to wrestling in WWE. And that's what they're looking at, man. That's how they grow with these things, bro. They're making these guys, if they're not, you know, the Stone Colds, the Rocks. And, bro, the stuff that people are saying about LA Knight, if you're getting prepared to call the Rock or Stone Cold, I sit there and be like, I'm doing my job. That's what I would be looking at it as.
That is what LA Knight is saying, and that's what he is working as. He's like, you know what? You're comparing me to some of the greats. That tells me I'm doing my job right. As soon as he walks out and everybody, as soon as he says, let me talk to you, and you hear everybody and their mama saying, yeah, come on, man.
So original, bro. So original. It's so organic, too, because he was a heel. He still is a heel. And he's like the most over right now and stuff. So I'm saying, man, it's so exciting to see wrestling as a whole, but it's pushed WWE to really get their self in gear. And I will say that part. That's something I really do like. Your Mondays, your Tuesdays, your your Fridays, whatever else damn days these guys are going on.
7 days a week.
Bro, they're delivering it. They're delivering. House shows are selling out. When have you ever heard house shows are selling out?
Not that often. And to top it all off, looking at who is one of the main women that is constantly being talked about that is not Becky Lynch. Rhea Ripley.
It's insane. It's insane.
Rhea Ripley.
Homegrown.
Yes. And to top it all off, this whole angle of her and Dominic is working beautifully. This is working better than the idea they took to start this whole thing of Eddie Guerrero in China. It has grown past that at this point. Yeah, Eddie Guerrero
Chavo's even commented about it.
Even Eddie Guerrero, he won the European title while he was with China. But look at where Rhea and Dominic are. Rhea's champion, and then Dominic is NXT North American champion, and he's defended the title multiple times already, back to back in some situations. He
on Raw too.
NXT Raw, and I think he has another defense coming up on NXT where Rey Mysterio is going to be in his opponent's corner.
Yeah.
So come on, if he comes out on top on that match, which I think he will, this is just going to build more to him. I have never heard anybody in a long time actually get that much legitimate heat than what Dominic Mysterio does. He may still be a little green. He's a lot better than what he was when he first started and he was wrestling with Rey. But he has gotten way better, and he also is mimicking the look of Eddie Guerrero too, with the long mullet, and having that grease look. I mean, dude,
I was catching on when she kept saying "my Latino heat." I'm like, I never really remembered them ever saying that, but I'm like, there it is, and the fans are even booing it more, and it's like, there you go, exactly. Y'all wanted an Eddie.
And here's the deal. A lot of people are saying that the Guerrero family's not okay with it. His daughter's come out and said that she's not okay with it. But the one person that matters most is okay with it, and it's Vicky Guerrero. Because you know why? Dominic Mysterio actually went and spoke with her before this storyline with Rhea Ripley even started. And he got the blessing from her to do it. If you got the blessing of the wife, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
She pitched the idea, I think, actually to him.
I think I remember hearing something about that too. But man, it's just completely crazy to me how Chavo was kind of getting up in arms at first. He was like, "Oh, well, I was just cutting a promo. You need to know the difference," and blah blah blah. I was like, "No, fool, you're just jealous because you used Eddie's name and you didn't get shit." But Dominic Mysterio used his name, and he's getting shit for it. He's getting the good shit for it.
And Ray got this a trademark, man. Like, who would have thought LWO coming to WWE? Period. Who would have thought?
I never thought about it. I never thought that would happen. I mean, but look what it did for them, though. They had
it's given opportunities.
It's given opportunities. You've had Bad Bunny come in as a member of the LWO. You've had Carlito come out as a member of the LWO. Selena Vega got a shot at the women's heavyweight title under the LWO brand. I mean, people say that it was just pretty much a bunch of jobbers, but you got to realize jobbers wouldn't have been put in those situations before. They would have been put into a match with a low-rung person and lose. I don't consider
that's
that
the only thing that drives me nuts, man. That's what drives me nuts. People don't really realize what the terminology of a jobber is. A jobber is somebody to help enhance somebody in the ring. If they have something to lack, they got to showcase something. They're the one to help enhance them, to oversell and stuff like that. And if that's the case, guys need to call Dolph Ziggler the jobber. Guys need to call The Miz the jobber. And these guys are sensational with people.
And another one they need to call a jobber is Seth Rollins. If they were really to go by that legitimate name. Cody.
Bro, the match he did with Omos. The match he did with Omos, period.
Oh, yeah.
And Cody, all our main guys should be considered jobbers because they're enhancing and making these guys look fantastic.
And they should have called John Cena that too with his last couple of matches, especially his match at Mania against Austin Theory. They should have called John Cena a jobber. But you can honestly, but also too, I will honestly say, John Cena, you can tell he's getting to the end of the road. You can tell he's getting to the end of the road because he has gone on interviews and he has said, I do not know if I can do this anymore. He goes to get physically ready for getting back into the ring. He almost has to go through a regimen like The Undertaker did when he was having to try to get ready to come back. He had to start getting ready 6 months before. So, I mean,
just for one match, man, I'm telling people, you have to prepare yourself to do these things. Like, bro, like I said, it took me almost a whole summer for me even agree to do a match. Like, I had to really remember, can I really be my character? Can I really move like my character and stuff like that? And I was like, bro, I'm 32 years old now. Like, I was 27 when I quit. Like, it's like, you know, it was going to be a very big transition for me to put on that damn mask again. I was just like, it used to be like no big problem, but when I put on that mask, I'm like, God, dog, what the hell was I thinking? Breathing wise. Oh my gosh, that outdoor show, bro. Oh my God, that outdoor show, I literally took it off. You could just, like, it felt like I was in a sauna suit all over. It was that bad. I was just like, God.
All over the place. Oh, no.
Oh, man. I felt bad for the dry clean. But no, man, it's just like those things. It's just so much that goes into these things. People, they want to love wrestling. And I think a lot of people love wrestling they just love to watch wrestling to see if they're right. If that makes sense.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's the biggest problem with,
you know, the genuine love for wrestling, like from back in the 80s, early 90s, and early 2000s. What killed that, I'm going to tell you this right now. It was this. This is what my thing is that once that wall was broken down and social media came in, it was just like a floodgate, man. People started theorizing. People started saying that they had the inside sources. And then we had, I'm going to flat out say it, we had idiots like Dave Meltzer come into existence, even though he was around a lot longer than that. But we had dummies like Dave Meltzer. We had people like freaking, he actually follows me on Twitter, Russo. Russo, he did not need another platform. He actually follows me. He follows me on Twitter too. And I'm like, Russo, you are the biggest piece of shit I have ever met in my life. I swear to God, your WCW shit made me want to reach through this TV and slap you. Like, no joke. My lifelong goal for doing pod can go wait in line as far
Cornette,
as
I remember he said on a show recently, because they were saying, like, is the beef between him and Russo real? Because it was like a guy that literally is not really big on wrestling. So like he was just in the inside, like the headline stories. He's like, does you and Vince Russo really hate each other? He's like, I say it like this. I'm here eating healthy just so I can outlive that bastard, so I can piss on his grave.
I can tell you this, Cornette will be the first one to get the damn can.
That joke was so funny. He said, I'm eating salad and lettuce just so I can outlive this man and piss on his grave. I said,
and then he'll die in bed that night.
Struck. That guy just looked at him and was like,
damn.
He really said that? He said just to piss on his grave. And he was like, oh, I guess that's true.
Damn. I remember that too. I remember hearing that interview.
That man said, I'm eating rabbit food to stay enough to piss on his grave.
All right. Oh, so let's go ahead and get into the what I would call the meat and potatoes of the situation. So I'm sure you got a couple questions for me. Sure, you've heard some speculations. I'm sure you've heard some rumors in regards to what's going on with me currently. Me, I'm one of these fools that likes to hear what people have to say, because sometimes it's funny as hell, sometimes it's god awful. So, all right, Marlowe. So what have you heard about me?
regarding OTT.
What have you heard about me?
Hey man, I heard you off the radar. I know you went from being the underboss to just being you. Is that correct?
Yes, that is true. If you've been noticing, I've been a little bit more active on social media lately. I have also started using the hashtag "the Underboss is Dead," and that is true. I have a couple of months back before I took my sabbatical, we had a falling out. I've had a falling out with Blackheart, and me and another person have. And to be honest, I feel like that it was a long time coming, but also too, I feel like that it was time for me to move on. It was time for me to move on because I just felt like I wanted to be able to contribute my own ideas, actually have them be used, and not have them completely torn away after I give them. And I will be honest, that is what I had happen to me in my final day, in my final weeks with OTTR. And when that happened, I just finally decided, I was like, you know what? I've been at this a couple years already with them. If this is how it's going to be, I'm not going to be a part of it anymore. I refuse to have someone turn around, take what's going on, and take other people's ideas and just completely shit on them. And I refuse to have that happen. So I just was like, you know what? I'm out. I can't do it no more. So I did that. I left, and Blackheart even reached out to me afterwards, and he says, "You know what? I understand. The door's always open if you want to come back." Well, I can tell you this definitively. I am slamming that door, and then I'm barricading it, and I'm building another wall right there. It is not happening. I am not going to go and do work and then turn around and have someone pull a Vincent Kennedy McMahon on me. I refuse to let that happen. So the door's closed. It's done. It's over with. I wish you the best, but you know what? I am not doing it anymore. I refuse to. And there are other people that are just as like-minded as me about it. So that's currently what the situation is. That's what caused me to kind of go on my hiatus and enjoy my family, enjoy the time to actually watch wrestling and not have to worry about coming up with updates, coming up with ideas on stories and everything else, just to have them torn apart. So good luck to him, but I stepped away, and I am not going to step back. I will, like I told you, Marlowe, I am more than happy to turn around and be a guest here, be a guest on commission talks, do all that stuff. Hell, I'll even sit in the same damn room with Blackheart to do episodes. But I will tell you this: knowing him, he won't be able to sit in the same room with me. But if he does, by some miracle, he mouths off, Lord have mercy. Hellfire and brimstone, sir. Hellfire and brimstone. So yes, that was what the situation was. And I know more than what he thinks too. I know about the meetings. I know about the shit talking. I know about the disrespect that you pass down to everybody else who contributes something valuable to the podcast. I know what you told them. And trust me, they're going to air their grievances eventually. And I can tell you this, he's probably not going to like it. And you know what? I don't care, because if you're going to be that disrespectful to people, you don't need people with you. So that was the reason for my hiatus. I know once he sees that, I know he's going to probably be in my inbox ready to ready to hand me a piece of his mind. But you know what? I could care less. He could try. He can try to hand me a piece of his mind, but it won't be received very well.
So, like you just said, you taking a break. You're out of a podcast group, whatever. So, what is next for you? Because you just said hashtag the Underboss is dead. So, what is next for you?
I will make a very strong suggestion to everybody. Marlowe, I don't know if you've been watching my socials. Have you been looking at my socials lately? Have you been seeing
off and on,
posts?
bro? I've been MIA for a minute. I'm not even gonna lie to anybody.
Okay,
so family stuff right now, so I've been MIA.
Oh no, I completely understand. What I'm gonna make a suggestion. I'm gonna make one suggestion. Look at my Twitter or my Instagram and start looking as of July 31st to now. Watch all the videos through and through and tell me what pattern you see. You don't have to say it now because I can tell you this, you're probably going to message me as soon as you watch it all and you realize what's going on. But it all comes to a head this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So this Friday, I believe it's the 4th. This Friday the 4th, it's going to come to a head. And when it does, it's my new venture will be announced, and at that point, a lot of things are going to change. A lot of things are going to change, not just for me, but for a lot of people who are involved with me. It is going to change a lot. So I'm very excited for that. I can tell you this, Marlowe, it is going to be a lot of fun to watch, but the first couple of things that happen is probably going to be a little bit of a shit show, but it's going to be a fun shit show to watch. But
I tell people, man, controversy builds the ratings.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're doing. We are building controversy, and we are going to get eyes on our social medias just by what happens on Fridays. So keep an eye out, Marlowe. I would strongly suggest you look through either my Twitter or my Instagram and just look at what's going on. And you're quickly going to figure out you'll probably figure it out, because I've had a couple people that are pretty close to me look at it and already figure it out. But unofficially, I have to say, just check social media, Instagram, Twitter at Cyber Yetti, and keep an eye on it this Friday on the 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and you're going to see exactly what's going to be coming.
All right, man. All right, guys. That is the one, the only Mr. Cyber Yetti. The Underboss is dead. Guys, stay tuned.
So, Marlowe, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, man. I figured it was about time. It was about time for me to come out of the shadows, and you were the only person I could think of, especially with the kind of summer you've been having. Personally, outside of everything we talked about tonight, man, I hope everything goes well with your kid, man. I know you've got some stuff coming up, and I will tell you this every single time. Just message me if you need anything, man. I know that's a rough scenario, and I will do whatever I can for you and your wife. You know that.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, man, likewise for you. Like I said, man, you're always welcome to be on. Blackheart, I love you. I know I'm going to get a message after this one for sure.
You're going to definitely get a message after this one for sure.
I love him, but that's just how you felt. I'm not going to sit here and, whatever. What he's done with me, we've formed a commission. We've done all these things. We've done and excelled exceptionally with regards with commission talks. Like, bro, that was just something put together, and Bro, we have people message us regularly like, bro, I can't wait till the commission. When's the next commission? Like, it took him a little bit when Dre started taking over on the commission on his week because we always were on Wednesday and Dre would be on that Friday to do the Talk Pro Wrestling. So that one kind of changed a little bit. But when everybody started figuring that out, so everybody was just sitting there going in from, all right, Warren's is on Wednesday, Blackheart's is on Wednesday, Dre's on Friday. We're good. Yeah. We got these things. And, you know, the main goal, our thing was for the commission was anyone can join. Anyone can join, come in. You got to fit the energy. When I say fit the energy, just come in. You better know your stuff. We coming.
And then you're gonna get walked out.
I mean, it happens, and I mean, sometimes we've had some people come on that it's been a positive, and then there's one that's like, I don't like that. I don't like what y'all picked on that. I mean, y'all were like anti AEW, and I'm just like, I was like, it's not anti AEW. I'm just telling you the facts. I'm telling you everything exactly what you needed to hear. I mean, everybody else was just, and I think that's what made us stand out first was because we talked the stuff about AEW. Everybody's praising AEW. AEW's this, AEW's that. And then we were really just talking about the actual things of what you view for it. And you're like, well, WWE does this. I was like, I'm not knocking everything. I'm telling you, this is what you need to watch. This is what makes it grow. And some people, as much as they hated to hear me talk about it, they wanted to hear me talk about it. They wanted to hear Blackheart talk about it. And then they wanted to know what Dre was going to agree on that moment or what he was going to say about it. Because Dre was very adamant about the female wrestlers. Like, that was one thing about Dre. Dre was more adamant about the female wrestlers. He had his select few, what he would have, and would bring a great perspective into it. My goal was, when we did the commission, was you got two podcasters and you actually have a wrestler's mindset. Like, that is a better show because now you got two fans and then you got the actual wrestler at the same time because you got three different point of views to a sport that we all love. And I tell people all the time, wrestling is definitely a sport. And, you know, if we want to call it fake, whatever, I damn near been dead off of a fake sport if that's what we're going to go with.
I was about to say, you might call it fake, but everything you do in that ring is 100% real, and your body.
You can do it safely, and you're going to feel it when you get older, regardless of anybody. And it sucks on that scenario because I think about it sometimes. I was just like, about 2 weeks, that bump wasn't a smart idea.
Yeah, I'm feeling that right now.
Oh, man, I like that show, bro. The adrenaline was so there. I was like, I don't feel nothing. And when we started tearing down, I was like, oh, back hurting.
Like, okay, now I can't get out of the chair.
I was like, thank gosh, this drive is not too far. Yes, sir. This is amazing. But Cyber, thank you for joining us, guys. Check the links below. This is the special. I know I was supposed to go literally this upcoming week. So, Cyber, thank you again, man.
Mm-hmm.
This Friday.
This Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Keep an eye on the social media at Cyber Yetti on Twitter on X, and on Instagram at Cyber Yetti. Keep an eye on there for 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth the wait. If you haven't looked at the profiles yet, look at them, and you will see the story that has been told there. So, again, Marlowe, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Best of luck on the rest of the on your upcoming season 5. And hey, anytime you want me on an episode, you let me know. I will make it happen.
Hey, man. I got you. But guys, thank y'all for watching. This is the one, the only Mr. Cyber Yetti. And ladies and gentlemen, we're out.
Yes, sir.